name is Jason. If you're a personal trainer or want to be a personal trainer, then this video is for you. Most of my videos don't have a structured process because I just get in the truck and I just talk to you about my online nutrition fitness business journey, and I don't really have topics, which I really should start doing it. There's really no success without structure, so I feel like all my videos been basically no structure, and I'm gonna work on it. I was listening to some Alex Hormozi podcast, and it talked about basically this guy, he was like sending him a little video or a little like business what's the word audit, and he was just talking about like all your videos you need to have the subtitle, but the subtitle you need to talk about it right after, so people are like, did I click on the right thing? What is this talking about? So I don't do any of that. I apologize. I'm working on it. I will get better. Follow the journey. I'm telling you, I plan on having a structure and all that. But anyways, today is talking about social media. I also learned today, and I didn't really learn it, I acknowledged it today. So social media marketing, I have a feeling that more and more people are going to be doing it. Therefore, it's going to create more and more of an expensive lead cost, or even client cost. It's going to cost you a lot more because of all the saturation, and people are obviously every day wanting to get, being an entrepreneur or even a solopreneur. So their first instinct is to do research, and everybody's saying, do social media marketing, do Facebook ads and Meta ads, and they're not wrong. I haven't found any value in it because I suck, and I'm working on it. And it's not even that I suck, it's I was trying to figure out what a good conversion rate for online nutrition and fitness coaching business is, and it's really hard to get valuable or viable, I don't know, statistics about it, and because we're in the information age, you can basically look up anything, and then 10 different things will pop up, 10 different results, like it could be this, it could be that, it could be this, it could be that, it could be this, it could be that. So you're just like, I don't really know, and so when you're starting off, I'm just doing my best, and all the stuff that I've been posting, like how I'm doing this, why I'm doing this, or how I'm doing this, it's not a lot of success in it. So when I do have success in the things I do, I'm definitely going to make a lot more videos on that specific topic and basically run it down, like why I did this, how I did this, who I did it for, all of it, the whole process. I do a lot of rambling, but the rambling is just potentially speaking out, venting, so I can, kind of just spit out one golden nugget. You spent 20 minutes listening to something. If you get one golden nugget that you can implement into your business that you never thought of, boom, my job is done. It's not for everybody, So today, social media marketing, I want to bring that up. It's only going to get expensive, and even Google ads, it's going to get more expensive, the more saturated. And there's whales, they're called whales, where people just have a lot of money to dump on ads, like a lot, like $100,000 a month. There's people who do $1 million a month on ads. And if you're just starting off, you're probably not big, and you probably don't have a lot of money, but don't let that discourage you. I'm in the same boat, and I'm going to do everything that I possibly can think of. It makes you think outside of the box. Like, for example, online nutrition fitness coaching, I'm going to do door hangers. I'm going to pay probably my sister. I'm sure you can find someone, who's willing to, make a quick $100. You'd say, hey, I got 400 door hangers. If you go hang them out in this neighborhood, I'll give you $100. 400 houses, that's probably like 5 miles, maybe 4 miles. 4 miles is equivalent to about 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. 3 hours of walking for $100, that's $33.33 an hour, which is killer, So, and how you they can just get the flyers and say they do it, they can just throw it out the window, and you don't know, but there is a way to avoid that. It's basically, you tell them like, hey, I will do a a check-in, which is basically you walk down that neighborhood, you look at doors, and you see the door hangers on the door. If the door hangers are on, you got a good employee, and that's pretty cool. Now, if you have a lot of time in the world and you don't have a lot of money, then you can simply do it, or you even do door to door. Door to door, it's kind of rough. What I would recommend is, I've done door to door. You go on the weekends. Weekends are more likely people are going to be there, and they're more likely to answer. During the daytime, people are at work. It's just not a lot of people answer the door. But on weekends, you definitely have a higher chance of speaking to someone. Now, that could be that, but I figure the door hangers, I don't know how much they're going to be. Probably maybe 40 cents each, 40 cents each, and then you can create a grip, and then you can just pay someone. So I'm going to do door hangers, plus I'm doing every door direct mail, which is basically I'm sending little flyers to people's doors. They get them in the mail. You go to USPS and all that, but there's that. So I'm doing different ways, and those are the only two ways that I can think of right now that doesn't require actual social media marketing or advertising. Obviously your flyers have to be off the chart, you know what I mean? The thing with online nutrition and fitness coaching is that I feel like it's very different, in my years of existence, or my years of receiving mail, I have never received a personal online nutrition or fitness coaching business, where you get a flyer like, online nutrition pretty good, you gotta hook them, you gotta hook them, and then so I'm waiting on that. I can't give you guys the results on that yet, because I'm actually going to get a new business phone number that's local, because I'm an out-of-stater. I'm just working here, working 80 plus hours a week, so I'm very limited on the times that I can do stuff. But I'm going to create a new get a phone number. It's called a VoIP or something like that, where it's like internet calling. So as long as you have internet, you can have phone calls, and it's to that business number. I'm going to use OpenPhone. Google Voice, it's a little cheaper. You can use it for personal. It's very limited on the features. OpenPhone, I heard on this podcast, it was by the Side Hustle Nation, or Side Hustle, whatever it is, and they talk about OpenPhone and how it integrates with HubSpot, which I'm going to be paying someone to create my website, just to make it more professional. I think mine's okay, and I have a 4% conversion rate, but I'm also changing everything, just trying to get to the 5% and maybe a 6% or maybe a 7%. Obviously, I would love 100%, but I feel like I don't have enough of testimonials. I don't have any testimonials because no one damn will give me a chance. It's a struggle. It's not even that they don't give me the chance. I offered free, and these people with free, they're free pull. They're not committed to it. They're not committed because it's free. So it's like not the point. I'm thinking of doing an offer of just so I can build testimonials, but also get results. It's 6 months for $1,000. I want to post an ad, see what's up, but I want to wait until I get the the website. I like my website. I like it, but I just want to see what a professional can do. You know what I mean? A professional who's done it. Rated 4.9 stars, have 555 reviews. They know something that we don't. And for them, you know what I mean? They're obviously, and on my website, I want to have blogs, so that way I can use ChatGPT to fetch articles, and I can post them in the thing, so that way I can get my SEO higher. So in about 2 years, 3 years, people are already going to that, and I want to do it. I want to pay someone 15. I think there's a way to have the backlinks into it, and I can put the backlinks into someone other website, so that way it kind of you kind of get the traffic, you know what I mean, and or the related content on Google to where you rank higher. I think there's a way, because I want to have personal training business, but not only training people, I want to end up training people who want to train people, and I want to create the framework that they can just simply follow, like a plug and play type deal. So that brings, I'm going on a line. I wanted to talk about different ways of marketing, and I get out of hand. My bad. There's got to be a structure, and I'm working on it, but just follow along the journey. I just one implement thing. So my little today's topic is which it's 9 minutes, 10 minutes in the video. I'm barely coming up with what I wanted to talk about. It happens. My bad. Working on it. But the one second thing is networking. So when I say networking, what do you mean? Like going to seminars and stuff? Not necessarily. So I'm sure if you have social media, I don't. When I do my social media marketing, I use my girlfriend's account just because she's had one for a very long time. She's very well, I guess, trusted because she doesn't do scammy stuff. And not that I do scammy stuff, but I have a feeling I'm going to get blocked if I do. I actually tried to create a Facebook I did, and I was immediately blocked. Like they said, make a video of yourself to prove that you're real or a human or whatever. I did it, and they said denied. So I literally couldn't even create a social media. And that's the one thing you have to worry about social media marketing is at any point in time, they can just pull the plug. You know, they say, we are disabling your content or your page or your account. And they could say, you can appeal, which I did, and I just created it. And they're like, nope, denied. So that couldn't happen. So don't put all your eggs in one basket, but also put your eggs in one basket. And when I it's kind of contradicting, but it's you obviously want to pick one thing and get very good at it. If you do Google ads, get very good at it. If you want to do Meta ads, get very good at it. You want to do Pinterest ads, which is kind of good too. Get good at it. Don't just dabble and dabble, because if you dabble with everything, you don't get good at anything. If you dabble with one thing, in particular, you get good at it, but you can experiment elsewhere, you know what I mean? Just to get a feel for it, you can just drop $5 daily limits, $5 a day, and just to see what happens. A lot of the time that might not work out the way you think it will. You might not get a lot of traction, but you can just test it, so that way if something does happen with your primary, you have a secondary that you don't have to absolutely freaking go, oh my god, I don't know what to do, but you can already experiment with other stuff. Anyways, so networking, when I say networking, I don't really think I mean networking. I mean ads that say food delivery, so, or chiropractors, or I'm thinking food delivery, so people are like, get all these healthy foods, and you can hit them up and be like, hey, I have an online nutrition and fitness coaching. I will email my list because we kind of go hand in hand. They want to eat healthy, they might want to exercise and be healthy as well. So if you send my list, my offer to your list, then I'll send my list your offer, and be like, yo, get this program. If following a diet, you're not good at cooking, or you choose not to cook because you're busy. I'm super busy, so I can completely understand. But you basically say, hey, I will send them the list or send them the offer, and you do the same for me. And you can even say, like, you're basically like an affiliate, you know what I mean? So let's say I get a client, and I'm like, hey, how do you feel about eating, cooking and all that? They're like, well, I'm pretty busy, I like eating out, or whatever. You say, okay, well, if you're busy, I have a partnership with X, and they do food delivery, and their meals are tailored for high protein diets or whatever the diet may be. And say, if you do come on board, you can get 50% off your first meal and just try it out and see if you like it. Something like that, So it's sponsored. You can do it with supplements. You can do it with potentially exercise bands, dumbbell brands. There's a variety of things. When you hear weight loss or getting toned, there's so many different items that you can, or genre or niches that are relative to that health and wellness, if you will. You got you got the gym equipment, you got all the supplements, you got food delivery, and so you can actually. That's the big thing about finding clients. If you're struggling with finding clients, that's one thing too. Facebook groups, you go there, you provide value, and then you can actually get up Facebook pages to admins and say, hey, is it okay if I provide free stuff? So there's that. There's another thing on my notes, because when I listen to all this stuff, the learning what to do, I document the stuff that I can implement into my business, and I look for golden nuggets. And one video I can find one golden nugget, I document it, and then I try to implement it into my business as soon as I possibly can. So that was that one. Oh, the lead magnet. So I was listening to this podcast, and it was talking about how this person is making digital products, making a killing, on Etsy did was create planners and organizers. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, okay, I'd be a pretty good lead magnet, a checklist for weight loss, or a checklist for, a guide, an ebook guide, something like, hey, if you're trying to get tone or lose weight, here's a book about, the basics. They get the book, they talk about, your macronutrients, that not everybody is the same. So if you're, looking up what to eat, how to lose weight fast, you're going to get a lot of information. Oh, do the keto, do this, do that, do this. And you can basically have a rundown of all of it, and you can kind of tailor it to them and be like, yeah, you don't want to do anything, whatever you do, don't try to do it. Only do the stuff that you think is sustainable, because at the end of the day, weight loss and, the whole, physical change, mental change, all that, it's something that shouldn't be a chore. If you think, eating healthy is hard or it sucks, it's because you obviously don't feel the worth. Like, if you really want to lose weight, you're going to be like, these healthy foods are actually pretty good. Or at least you're going to keep continuing to try and figuring out what meals are good for you to continue your journey. Like, so if someone loves pasta, they absolutely love pasta, and they say, I'm going to try the keto diet, they're gonna, you're cutting out carbs, which is a lot of pasta, like pasta, carbs, noodles. So if you're, gonna do the keto diet, you're probably gonna go back to your old ways, unless you're very, very, very committed to weight loss, and keto is your only solution, which it's probably not. But so that was the networking. Figuring out the supplement companies, and you could potentially turn your list into a lot larger list, or at least find clients that way. I'm assuming that it could be value in it. Now, if you don't have like testimonials like me, or an actual like program that is proven to work, because you can't, it sucks. But I'm working on it. They say don't expect to get rich, or have success within 6 months, 3 months, a month, a year. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but it is worth it. It is going to be worth it. That's how I feel. I'm obsessed with it. So no matter what I do, I'm doing it for the business, and I am in it for the long haul, and I don't want to stop. There's been plenty of times where I've worked on many different entrepreneur endeavors, and a lot of them failed because I didn't see the results I was seeking within months. And there's other circumstances that kind of stop the business from happening, like all my tools getting stolen, and I was trying to start a tree cutting landscape business, and all my tools got stolen or was stolen. So it's like that business, like I just wasted like $5,000. And so I just said, screw it. I'll try to find out a different business that's a startup, a little cheaper. But service businesses are very cheap. You just provide service. You make the clients pay for the equipment if it's necessary, or whatever. Like if you're a plumber, or I'm just gonna not plumber. If you're online nutrition, fitness, coaching, that's super free. You could potentially start off free. Like, you don't need anything. You don't need a website. You don't need anything. You go somewhere and say, hey, you're looking for online nutrition, fitness. You go to Walmart, or you go wherever, and you find somebody, and they're like, yeah. And you just basically, you can write out your plan, or text them the plan. Text them. I mean, it's definitely doable. So there's that. Networking. Figure out companies that you can potentially work with. Door hangers and EDDM. So that's what I'm working on. Again, I'm going to work on these videos to be a little bit more structured. It's going to probably take a long time, and when I work less than 80 hours a week, then I'll probably end up being able to do it. But until then, peace.